Again, Christians, get out and vote just this time. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years, you know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian. I love you. Get out. You got to get out and vote. In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it fixed so good you're not going to have to vote.
The true conservatives, true Republicans, I'm talking to y'all. Like, because I know there's some anti-Trump Republicans out there, but I'm speaking of ones that are pro-Trump Republicans. Like, y'all really okay with this? Y'all was really fighting about voting regulations and all types of other, like, y'all really okay with this idea? Dude. And don't get me wrong, maybe it was a slip of the tongue. Maybe, I mean, I don't think Trump makes these kinds of mistakes anymore. I'm almost gonna have his word be gospel sometimes. Like, I feel like he really does believe the things that he says and that he's really doing it. I feel like he put these buzzwords out there to attract a certain group of people. There are a certain demographic of people that want nobody but Trump. They think Trump is the only one to like, they look at this man as synonymous with God. Even I will go that far to say, like, they look at this man as a whole deity. You know what I'm saying? Like, they think that he is the savior for this country, and he should be sitting there. They think that the bullet that went past his ear is a divine intervention. It was divinity, and it was. And like, God was protecting him because he's the one. My man is Neo from the Matrix. You know what I'm saying? Like, people really do believe and put stock into this man. And he'd be saying some wild stuff, and that's one of them. That's one of the wild things he'd be saying. And, like, he says, you don't gotta ever vote again. Maybe he might have made a mistake. Maybe he's saying, like, you won't regret it again. Maybe he's trying to say something around those lines, like regret. Maybe that's what it is, but I don't know. My man said it twice in this video. He said it twice. Like, you won't ever have to vote again. You won't ever have to vote again. So I don't know, man. I think my man's trying to say something.
I did wonder, are we reading something into it? Was he just essentially saying that, was he speaking in like hyperbole, where just like, you won't have to vote again because everything's gonna be great, like that type of thing? Like,
you won't ever waste your vote again. Your vote for me, that's not a waste. Maybe that's what he's saying, but he said it twice, bro. He said it a lot in this video.
Yeah. Because even if I think of that, it's like, but why wouldn't you have to vote again in 4 years? Something else that someone's brought up was essentially hinting at a change in the Constitution where he can continue to be president. Much like it was Bloomberg, I believe, was able to change the law in New York. He reached his limit and he was able to change the law so that he stayed another term. What are you hinting at? You know what I mean? It's really terrifying. It's very troubling statements that we're getting also. And it just makes me worried. It makes me worried. I've never been more afraid of a Trump presidency. And I know people who look at me like I'm crazy for saying that I'm going for Harris. And it's like, are you serious? Like the reactions, and it becomes a situation where you really can't talk much about it with even people who are Trump supporters that you might consider like a friend or a family member, things like that, because there generally are no facts, often spewing the same thing that he says. For me, it leaves me in a very hopeless type of situation. I said to a friend the other day, I was like, "Yo, I hope we could still be cool when the Civil War comes. I hope me and you will be all right when that happens."
I'm just saying, analyze. Or all right, for instance, if let's say you got the inside scoop of what Trump is saying right now, right? All right, cool. First of all, share it with us so we all can understand what's the inside scoop of what he's saying. Because obviously, we're not reading in between the lines right now, but you can. So let us know. And number two, if you don't, and you truly don't, can we analyze a little bit of what he's saying? Can you really be mad at people who, for instance, are kind of like me, who's just getting into politics and trying to understand the ins and outs of it and what to trust and what not to trust, right? Like, can you blame me for thinking that like what he said is what he means? Like, and that is the real issue of Trump as president.
Yeah.
That's the biggest issue with it, is that, all right, maybe you know, but we don't know, because what we see is very opposite to what you see. And if it's not opposite, maybe you believe what he says, and we just on two different levels right now. We're in two different spectrums, but you call my views crazy and stupid and asinine and horrible. But the man just said something that I don't think any president has ever really said. They may have alluded to it, but they have never outright said it with such confidence and vigor, like another 4 more years, as if he's going to be the president forever. Like, just bear with us when we're trying to understand the situation as Republican, and then like try to find a middle ground somewhere in that, because we're not dumb to just listen to what he says and just believe it. You wanted us to read in between the lines when he said about bleach and COVID.
Yeah.
He said drink bleach. And then you all got mad at us for saying, oh, you don't understand that he was just joking about the bleach thing and this, that, and the third. There's millions of people dying from COVID, and he decides to make a joke. That's bad too.
Yo, and the crazy thing is, it was the most serious situation. Like, he's literally in a press conference when he said that. I remember that. And on top of that, I always bring it back to the fact that this man knew what this virus was and how bad it was. It is documented. It is recorded. He said it himself, and it was put out there already. He knew what this virus was before it even got really, really bad. He could have instructed us. He could have done a lot, but instead it's just a flu. It's just a flu. Don't worry. Everyone's fine. It's China. The fact is that, you're commander in chief. It's your job to protect your people. You did not protect your people. You failed at doing that. You do not deserve the seat again. Off of that alone, I am not willing to vote for this man again. 100%, because you failed to protect us during the most critical time, and you could have saved lives if you would have opened your mouth about what you knew. But instead, you chose to do this a terrible way, and that is not fake. That is not fiction. It is recorded. It is documented. I heard the tapes myself. It's always a spin, or I'm gonna ignore that. It's one or the other, constantly with them, and
it's not. And can I say this? It's not just with Trump. It's every president.
Yes.
I'll even go as far as to say even Obama. I feel like he kind of tiptoed around certain topics that involve Black people. That, like, what happened to you? Why didn't you do so? I remember vividly. He was on the Breakfast Club, and Charlemagne and all of them asked the question about, you didn't do anything for Black people. And then he would be like, well, that's not true. Da, 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 da. And then, like, he kind of tiptoed around certain things with his finesse. And you know what I mean? Like, and whatever.
Speak.
So, to me, that's my favorite president.
Yeah.
Not even because he's Black. Dude is just an amazing president. Just off of optics alone, he spoke well. He showed that he actually cared about the American people. There are some policies that he put in where he actually cared about the people that I serve in social services that I think still exist today, unless if somebody tried to take it out. You understand what I mean? So and I can say the dude, he's bombed kids.
Yeah.
Like Obama's bombed kids. And
Yeah.
and hardly anybody really questions the fact that he's done that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? He's done horrible things. So it's both sides of the field. I'm
Yeah.
just saying, like, yo, let's keep it a stack. Let's keep it a being. Like, these guys lie and stuff like that, and then they do things that Trump be doing and say some wild off the wall stuff, and you don't expect us to question that.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying, bro.
The other thing though is we've never heard something like this. We have never, at the very least in our lifetime, we've never heard something like this. So we're in a situation that's very unprecedented, where you're talking about a dude that is saying that a dude that has been given immunity by the Supreme Court, a dude that's saying he's gonna give basically everyone with a badge is gonna have immunity. And he's saying that you won't have to vote again in 4 years. We're gonna have everything fixed. Like, this is very much so like when people tell you who they are, believe them type of thing. Again, if he's willing to say this out loud, what is he planning in secret? You
Mm-hmm.
know, you're right. Both sides do this. You know, they run the game, and they sweep things under the rug. Even Obama, you know, I can say that in my lifetime, Obama was my favorite president, but at the same time, scrutinize things that I believe that he did were immoral, you know, at the same time. But this is a situation where the person in power just got more power, and he's going to give other people who have power over citizens even more power. What do we what does this look like, bro? Yo, Jimmy,
And he's gonna do that in
right,
perpetuity. He's gonna be there
right,
forever.
right. And he's yeah, you won't have to vote again. This is the last time you're going to vote. This is the last time we have to make a vote because now you're Putin. Is that what you're saying? Project 2025 in full effect. Now, that's a good. I'm glad Jimmy brought this up. Is this an aspect of Project 2025? I don't know. I wonder. I'm not sure if you do, Martin,
Um,
or anyone in the chat.
uh,
Do you know?
the what's scary is that whole immunity, the presidential immunity thing. That is part of Project 2025, giving control to um the Republican candidate, and I mean, like, he already we saw we saw it go down. I think the majority of the Senate, like the seats in the Senate and all that stuff, is Republican even right now. I think the Supreme Court judges are all Republican. So
Not
we're
not all, but I think the majority
right
of
there, the majority. But I feel like that's the end goal is to have, like, across the board all of them.
yeah.
So all we need is Trump to be in office. He could have the power to kind of erase certain things and get through certain loopholes to make sure he gets another 4 years, then another 4 years, then another 4 years, and another 4 years. As many 4 years as he wants.
I could see that happening because he can end up getting that passed in the Supreme Court, just like Bloomberg did. And that's just the beginning of the end. That is the beginning of the end.
How scary, huh?
I've become terrified. And I don't know how else to say this, dude. Like, I just had this thing in my head where it's like I hear that announcement that day that Trump is getting extended another 4 years, and he just gave immunity to police officers, and he has immunity. I'm piecing all this together, and all I need to have a backup plan. I have to be able to get out of here immediately.
Yeah,
I
I need
can't. If
a
that
crib,
happens,
bro.
yo, if that
In a different
happens,
country.
in all seriousness, if that happens, I have to get out of here. Oh, man. Anyway, let's move on.